Hello and welcome to Enough, Stop Bullying in El Paso County. The show is dedicated to putting an end to bullying. I launched the effort to stand up to bullying 2 years ago when I noticed an increase in the number of bullying incidents coming into our office. Whether you have children or not, you should be concerned. Every 7 minutes a child is bullied on a school playground, and over 85% of those instances occur without any intervention. We can make a difference. Here's what we've done so far. In 2010, the El Paso County Sheriff's Office Anti-Bullying Coalition was formed. Their mission? To educate the community on the growing dangers of bullying and to spread the message that bullying will not be tolerated. In 2011, El Paso County Commissioners signed a proclamation proclaiming El Paso County to be a bully-free zone. We've partnered with local school districts and organizations to strengthen our efforts, and now we're hitting the airwaves with the help of the El Paso School District and KTSM News Channel 9.
Bullying stories can be found everywhere. Just about every person has experienced bullying in one form or another.
It can be verbal and include name calling or teasing, social like spreading rumors, physical involving hitting, punching, and shoving.
Bullying at school can happen peer-to-peer, older kids to younger ones, and in some cases even involve a teacher as either a victim or a culprit.
And with today's technology, the problem has also crossed virtual borders. Cyberbullying is now a serious problem that can cause long-term damage to victims and bullies.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Enough. My name is Chief Deputy Eddie Campa with the El Paso County Sheriff's Office. As you all know, this show is dedicated to putting an end to bullying in El Paso. Joining me today is Greer Ashbury from the Paso del Norte Civil Rights Project. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to join us today.
Thank you.
Ms. Ashbury, would you please tell us a little bit about what your organization does?
Sure. Our organization works on a variety of issues in El Paso to promote social, economic, and racial diversity. We work on issues like wage theft. We help immigrant victims of domestic violence. We work on civil rights issues. And one of our newest programs is our anti-bullying program, Safe Schools Texas.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the anti-bullying part? What exactly does the bullying project do?
Sure. So our bullying program is called Safe Schools Texas. It's a program that started in our sister office in Austin in 2008, and we just brought it here to El Paso in August of 2012. So we're a brand new program. We just did our first presentation in January of this year. And we offer free in-class seminars to high school and middle school age students to address bullying, harassment, and discrimination, more of a preventative measure for students. And we focus on bullying against LGBTQ individuals, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer, because we know that the top reasons for bullying are actually real or perceived sexual orientation and gender expression. And so in order to create a safe climate for all students, we really need to tackle the issues of sexism and homophobia that lead to discrimination and harassment towards LGBTQ students.
Great. Recently, the local media reported of an incident that took place at one of our local schools. It involved a 13-year-old young lady who was assaulted by several other female students. Could you tell us a little bit about that, and if your organization is involved in that? And if, for those people who didn't hear about the case, could you maybe tell us a little bit about what might have led up to that incident?
You know, I don't know the details of the case, and I don't want to speculate about what happened. Our organization heard about the case, and obviously we were very concerned, as I think that all of the El Paso community was and still is. And to us, it just, that's an extreme example of bullying, but we believe that such extreme examples come about because of a culture and a climate in a school that allows incidents to escalate. And so in order to stop such extreme incidents like that, we have to focus on broader issues of the school climate, which is where our program comes in. And so we just decided to speak out on that issue to say, you know, hey, it's obvious that bullying exists in our El Paso community. And we really need to, as a community, take preventative measures. Obviously, some already exist, like the Sheriff's Anti-Bullying Coalition, work done by PFLAG, and other organizations in the area. And so we just wanted to give a voice as Paso del Norte Civil Rights Project, saying, you know, bullying exists and it's really not okay, and it's something that we need to tackle together as a community.
Right, and that's a good point. I mean, it seems like the community is finally starting to come together as a whole. We've got a lot of coalitions working together, a lot of projects, and there seems to be a lot of unity working for that one common goal of ridding, you know, well, the city of bullying, and of course, the ultimate goal is to rid the world of bullying, which is going to take a lot longer. However, can you give us a few examples and maybe tell us a little bit about the programs that you guys have established to help put an end to bullying?
Sure. So like I said, our program focuses on LGBTQ issues. And so, you know, what we hear a lot thrown around the school are terms like "that's so gay" or "no homo," derogatory terms that are thrown around by all students. And so we, as a program, want to address bullying specific to LGBTQ students. And so our program is a format, like I said, where we have in-class seminars. So we have a facilitator and 2 guest speakers who come into a classroom, and it'll be an hour to 2-hour presentation. And we do activities that address issues of gender roles or gender stereotypes. We help students build empathy of what it would be like if you were coming out, or how to be a supportive ally to a peer who's going through a coming out process. So we do activities with the students, and then we have guest speakers who are people who identify as LGBT or Q, and they share a story from their lives about their coming out process, or you know, an issue of bullying that they experienced, and do some Q&A with the students in the class to really start a discussion around these issues, to put a face to the anti-bullying effort, and help the students really relate to what's going on.
Perfect. Could you maybe, what kind of advice or guidance would you give to somebody that's watching us tonight on what to do if they're being bullied?
Sure. I think the hardest thing for people who are being bullied is speaking out. And one thing that you can try to do is find someone who you think is going to be supportive to tell. Try to identify who in your life is an ally. Is it a parent, a teacher, a friend? And look for signs of someone who you think will be supportive. Does your counselor have safe zone posters in their office? Does your teacher have safe zone posters or mention LGBTQ issues in class? That might be a signal that there's someone who you can talk to. So just try to identify one person in your life who you can talk to, and just sharing with them can start a healing process.
Perfect. Well, once again, thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing how the project continues to expand and help us put an end to bullying. So I appreciate taking time out of your schedule. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
I'd like to remind everybody, anybody who suffers from being bullied, you're not alone. There's always somebody there that can help you. So if you're a victim of bullying, please say something, talk to somebody that you trust, so we can get you the right help and put an end to bullying. We'll be right back.
To me, bullying is when someone uses a weapon to cause me injury.
To me, that is aggravated assault, a second-degree felony punishable by imprisonment in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice from 2 to 20 years and or a fine not to exceed $10,000.
To me, bullying is when someone retaliates and takes someone else's life because they reported an abuse or an assault to the police.
To me, that is capital murder, an offense punishable by imprisonment in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for life without parole or death.
Guys, gym this year is so boring.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Coach Olivas always made it fun.
I look forward to going to gym.
Yeah, and now all we do is run.
Yeah.
I know. We should play a game.
Yeah. What should we play? Basketball?
No. Volleyball.
Why say volleyball?
Volleyball. Okay, I'm on volleyball. Okay, I'm first picker.
I'm second picker.
All right, pick me. I want to get picked first. It's me.
Yeah. Kim.
Hey. Yeah. Me. Victoria. Woo, Victoria. Roger. All right, guys, ready? Let's play. Can I still play with you guys?
We already have enough.
I can sub in for someone.
Oh, you're really not that good. And we didn't pick you for a reason.
Okay.
Guys, let's go back to playing.
It's okay.
Alright, let's go. Into your teams.
Alright. Oh. Here. You wanna come here? I'll go here.
Hey, look at that girl over there. We should go ask her to play.
Alright.
Hey. Hey. Hey.
Do you want to play volleyball with us?
Yeah.
Alright, okay.
Guys, I really want to take a break.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Melissa, go get the ball.
What should we do now?
Take a break.
Let's just take a break.
Let's chill.
Yeah. Guys, it looks like they're having fun over there. Not really. We had more fun.
Yeah, we did.
Maybe we should go apologize.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad.
Let's go say sorry.
Yeah.
You guys
can.
Yeah,
I'm not.
I'm not gonna go either.
Guys, let's just play.
Hey, we're sorry we didn't let you play.
Oh, it really hurt my feelings.
Oh, we didn't mean it offensively in any way, so we're sorry.
It's okay.
Well, can we play with you?
Yeah, sure.
Hello and welcome back to Enough. Joining me now are two volunteers with the Paseo del Norte Civil Rights Project. I'm joined by Jessica and Elidia. Thank you for taking time to join us here today. The first thing I'd like to do is, would you tell us a little bit about what you all do in your project, in your role as a volunteer?
Sure. Actually started volunteering for the Rainbow Manor Initiative over at UTEP. It's been about a year now. And what we do is basically we're starting to go into classrooms and speaking to students about LGBT issues and how some students have been bullied, so many years already, and it's kind of gone unnoticed, or at least some of the issues have not been addressed enough. And so we're pretty much trying to educate and inform people about what's happening, and we're not trying to push forward, this whole idea of who we are as far as being gay, but we're trying to educate people and trying to bring differences in, so people who don't accept people who are LGBT community, but just trying to get them to understand and respect people's lives, so that there's no conflict, there's no tension in classrooms, and everybody is in a safe environment.
Now, Elida, your expertise is more in the high school, middle school area. What kind of projects and what kind of programs and lessons do you all share with the students in those age groups?
Thank you for asking that. The first thing we do is we go to the schools and we do some research about exactly specific problems that they are having. We have focus group with about between 10 to 20 students, and we ask them questions. What is it that you guys are seeing more? We found out that cyberbullying it's really one of the issues. Facebook, they have a lot of issues with between girls because of having many boyfriends, something like that. And then the LGBTQ community, it's being segregated from the rest of them, and that's what we found out in our focus groups.
Okay, you bring up, and Jessica, most of your volunteers and your programs and your projects are usually take place in the university. Is there a lot of bullying that takes place at the university? At a university, not to say the university, but at that age group, is there still a lot of bullying?
Personally, I haven't experienced bullying at a university myself, but I think that it doesn't take away the possibility that it is happening. Sometimes it's very difficult for students to, bring up the issue, depending on how open they are about their sexuality or how comfortable they feel about speaking to somebody. And I think it's important to address that there are programs out there to help people speak up. And it could very well be that they don't know who to reach out to. And it's a process that kind of jumps from high school to college, and it's like we're trying, as we go to classrooms, we're trying to inform them that there is people who are there to protect them. And so we want this issue to be as widespread as possible, so that if they are being bullied, they feel more comfortable to come and talk to us, or to anyone in particular.
And can you give us a couple of examples, maybe of experiences that you've had and the type of bullying that you're seeing at the high school levels? I mean, you mentioned cyber texting, so obviously, yes. I mean, that exists, but do you have any other examples, without mentioning any names, just a story that you might share with the community so they can know what kind of bullying is taking place?
Unfortunately, a lot of things that we have seen is between boys that are bullying their friends when they come out. We have a couple of experiences with two guys that were bullied at a point that unfortunately one of them passed away last year. He committed suicide because of this, and it's just something that we want to stop in this community.
Now, the project, the Paso del Norte Civil Rights anti-bullying portion of it, that curriculum was developed, that you all follow, was that developed here locally, or is that at a state level?
It's a little bit of both. It comes from Austin, Texas, but as well it's something that we have been developing between the volunteers. One of the activities we do is we do something like games where students get to see like different situations and they participate on them, and they say if this will be considered as bullying or not. Why do they think this is not bullying? Because sometimes, like when they segregate other students that are LGBTQ, they don't realize they're bullying the other students. So this is kind of like an open eye for them. And then another thing we do is we share stories. So probably some of the students can rely to what we're saying, and we can give them a little bit of hope, you know, in their situations.
Jessica, for our parents, teachers, people that are watching, students, anybody that's watching us, how do we get a hold of you if they want a presentation, if they want to get a hold of you just to get some advice? How do we go about getting a hold of you all?
Sure, definitely they can reach us at the Rainbow Manor Initiative at UTEP. We are under the Women's Studies Department, and they can contact Liz Polinsky or any of us in the office. And also, of course, Greer, who was just here with us a few moments ago. So.
Fantastic. Bullying is an epidemic that that isn't prejudiced. It affects each and every one of us, regardless of our skin color, our age, our sexual orientation, our size, our weight. It doesn't matter. It affects each and every one of us. All it takes is one person to stand up and say enough to bullying, and you'll see that others will stand behind you and back you up. We'll be right back.
Hello again, I'm Adrian Alvarez.
And I'm Kagan Harsha. Time now to take a look at bullying in the news. The fight to stop bullying has landed at the State House.
For the first time, lawmakers unanimously approved a bill that would help school districts fight bullying. This legislation would strengthen current laws. From the girls' bathroom to the student lockers, Chelsea Little says she has seen all sides of bullying.
Being pushed in the bathroom stalls and lockers and walls and tables and name called on the internet and outside.
Little and her mother shared this pamphlet with lawmakers. It shows the young faces who've died as a result of bullying. Last month, the pair testified before this committee, which approved House Bill 1423. It's an anti-bullying effort that would require each school district to document the number and nature of bullying incidents. The bill would also require the state to create guidelines on how to discipline students who have bullied kids.
Out here killing themselves, they're cutting themselves. They have post-traumatic stress disorder like my daughter. I mean, there's a lot of things that need to go into it, and I think this bill would be, it's a wonderful start.
Now, the superintendent supports any legislation that makes our schools safer for our students and educators.
The bill would also provide training to school teachers, a change Little welcomes.
Many kids don't realize it's bullying until they start, really roughly hard.
Her last name is Little, but this 16-year-old has a big voice.
I'm trying to write a book to show other teens like me that they are not alone. Stay positive because something good will happen for you, and I'm going to make sure that all of the kids out there that are watching this, I'm going to make sure that you guys also get what you need to get to be closed.
Now to some medical news about bullying.
People who were bullied as children are at a greater risk for developing anxiety disorders, depression, and even suicidal thoughts. A Duke University study of more than 1,000 children found both bully victims and bullies themselves had higher rates of psychiatric disorders compared to those who were never bullied. Bully victims were also more likely to have panic disorders and anxiety. Researchers say bullying should not be considered a normal part of childhood and warns it could have very serious long-term effects on victims and aggressors. Bullying is also in the spotlight on the movie screen.
And in this case, the movie's already out on DVD. Filmmakers expose a national problem in Bully. This documentary follows 5 students who run the gauntlet of punches and pulled hair at their schools and the reactions by parents and administrators. This call to action touched off a widespread debate about peer abuse and how to stop it. That is Bully News for this edition of Enough.
Now back to you.
Welcome back, and we're here with Sandra Robles, and Sandra Robles is an employee of the Sheriff's Office. She is an employee with the communications section, and I've known Sandra for quite a while, so I want to thank you for coming on to the show.
You're welcome.
Sandra has brought with her her daughter, and they're going to share a story with us that they went through. Her daughter is an elementary student, and they had an incident with bullying, and they're here to share it with us today. So I'm going to ask Sandra to introduce herself and introduce her daughter.
Good afternoon. My name is Sandra Robles. I've been with the Sheriff's Office, the communications section, for 10 years. This is my daughter Valeria, an elementary school student.
Okay, so what happened is that you were not directly involved in a bullying incident, right? But you have a very close friend of yours in which you experienced through him a whole bunch of things that were going on.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a little bit of what happened?
Yes. We were in PE and like the other team, the ball fell on the floor and they got it back, and our team tried to get it, but one of the kids, he said, "No, just leave it, and then the one that was being bullied, he said, "No, let's try and get it," and he just pushed him, like on the
floor. So this friend of yours, he had been having some problems with these other group of kids, and so that's one specific incident that you saw happened. But were there more? Were they doing other things to him that would be considered bullying?
Well, some kids tell other kids not to play with him because I think it's just because of the way he talks and that he can't really talk English because he's from somewhere else.
So he's what happens here is that he's different, right? And so because of his uniqueness, some of these kids at the school were taking advantage of that, and so they were pushing him around and things like that, and calling him names and things like that, right? And so how did that affect you? Because you were friends with him, right? You used to you guys talk and you guys would hang out and stuff like that. So how did it make you feel, and how would you see that it made your friend feel?
Like, I think it's bad, and it makes me feel sad.
And also your friend, would he, was he sad? Was he depressed? Things like that? Because those are typically the things that happen when somebody goes through these bullying things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you saw changes in him, and you saw how he was different at school and things like that.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm gonna turn it over to you, Sandra. Did you, when she first came to you with these problems that she was seeing at school, what was she kind of talking to you about, or how did you handle it? How did you react to it?
Yes, first of all, she came to me and she told me about her friend at school and the things that he was going through, that she would observe other kids' behavior towards this little boy. And it made me aware of how she felt. It made her feel really, really sad, and I could see a lot of emotion in her. Initially she told me about that incident where they were in the playground and they were pushing him. There was a particular kid that was pushing him around and preventing him from getting the ball. And after she told me about the incident, she began telling me about the behavior that a lot of these kids and most of the class exhibited towards this child. apparently because of the language barrier where he came from, and he's newer to the school. He didn't begin with the rest of the kids. He came in later in the school
middle of the year.
Yes, and he's singled out. Therefore, he's usually by himself. She told me that she's usually the one that talks to him because she is bilingual. She'll come over and she'll talk to him. She hangs out with him. And to a certain extent, she tried to defend him from some of these other kids that were trying to fight with him or push him around.
Well, let me just say that you are very courageous for sticking by his side, because so many times it's very easy for us just to follow the group, right? So if people are picking on him because he's different and because he can't speak English very well, then it's easier to just follow along and pick on him too. But you did the right thing. You took your stance, and you continued to be his friend, and that is a lot harder to do than just follow the group. So you're very courageous, and you did the right thing. And at such a young age, it's something that we need to congratulate you on. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do we know what happened to this kid? Is he still at the school?
Yes,
or, yes?
he's still at the school, and the main thing that I told her to do is to continue to be his friend, to speak out for him, that maybe at one point she was going to be his voice to try to help him along and try to speak for himself. I told her, you need to approach the teacher and let her know what's going on. That way there's awareness about it. Talk to your friends and let them know that this kid is no different, that he needs your support and that he needs to be incorporated into the rest of the classroom and be made feel comfortable.
Absolutely.
And the teacher, the main thing I told her was to tell the teacher and to make them aware.
I feel that the common denominator here is that when things like this happen, we need to tell as many people as possible. We need to tell our parents, our teachers, our fellow students, anybody and everybody, and that way we get the word out, because the bullies are the ones that are wrong, not us and not the victims and not the ones that speak out. So again, I commend you because you're doing the right thing, and you're very courageous. And thank you, Sandra, for allowing her to come here and give testimony, because it's very explosive for a child to come in here and tell stories about what happens in the schoolyards and at the schools.
Yes.
So thank you both very, very much. We
You're
appreciate
welcome.
your time.
You're welcome.
This concludes another episode of Enough. We want to thank you very much for tuning in. Like always, we want to thank all the people that participate and all the people that make this show a possibility, and that without we couldn't accomplish what we do here. We will see you guys next month again for another episode of Enough. And remember that if there are any kind of anti-bullying things that are going on, you need to report it, please. That's so important. Thank you very much.